Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you a preview of the 2020-2021 AFC wildcard matchup, which pits the Baltimore Ravens against the Tennessee Titans. This is obviously, one of the more compelling matchups. I would say you're talking about the Tennessee Titans, who have been kind of an enigmatic team this year. They've been up and down. They still managed to finish 11-5. I understand that the total overall record is really what could be the most significant, but they've kind of, and you look at Baltimore, they've had kind of a similar season. They've been a little bit erratic. They got off to like a 5-1 start. The Titans got out of the gate at 5-0, and these two teams may have looked like they were on a collision course to play each other in the AFC title game. Now they're playing each other in that first round. And right now, I like the Titans to win, but I understand there's a lot of reasons to go all out on the Baltimore Ravens as far as predicting them to win this matchup. You look at Lamar Jackson and company, they have won. Baltimore Ravens have won 5 in a row, but people have to remember that 4 of those wins came against teams that finished the season under 500. So you have to look at the opposition a little, that they, as far as who they've played, and the thing about this is too, you look at these two teams, and Baltimore also is a team that statistically they're better than the Titans in a number of departments, including their scoring defense, their run pass defense. But the thing about this is when the Titans play Baltimore, they seem to kind of limit these numbers that Baltimore is accustomed to putting up against other teams. Keep in mind, Baltimore ran for over 400 yards last year. This is going to take a toll on the running game. The players that ran for all those yards, their running back is going to be a little bit tired. I know Derrick Henry of the Titans ran for well over 200 yards in that game against the Houston Texans. But the thing is, you're talking about the Ravens coming off a win where they expended a lot of energy against really a hapless Bengals team. But and the thing is, they do have to go to Tennessee to play this game, and Tennessee has proven in recent time they could defeat Baltimore. They did. They have won 3 of the last 4 against the Ravens. They've won the last 2, of course, against them. The last game was a nail biter. It was a game that was very tight, and the Titans won by like 6 points in that one. But those 2 games they beat Baltimore were at Baltimore. It's just for me, I think what's going to happen is the Titans are going to try to work the clock a little bit more. I looked at as far as the stats go for time of possession this season, Baltimore even has the edge over the Titans in that one. But the last game that they played against each other, the Titans actually had the ball longer than Baltimore did. The Titans had it for like about 33 and a half minutes, and Baltimore had it for 31 minutes total. The Titans, what they need to do is dominate the time of possession and keep the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands. I think the ideal is to try to make Lamar Jackson more of a passer. They contain him. The last game, he did not run, rampant over, like he does in a lot of other games. Titans seem to have the uncanny ability to contain Lamar Jackson. A lot of other teams cannot do that. And what's interesting about the Titans too is that their defense is not very good, and they were, I don't know if they were last or near the one of the worst teams anyway in terms of defensive sacks this season, and they had like 19 total, and so they have to, the thing about it is, what makes it perplexing about the Titans is that they don't sack the quarterback that much, but they have shown, at least in the games against Lamar Jackson in recent time, that they're still able to contain him and really prevent him from running getting really that many major large gains when he runs, and I think that is going to be key. They're probably not going to sack him many times in this game. The Titans will probably be very fortunate if they even get 2 sacks on Lamar Jackson, but it's something where they still will be able to focus on him and contain him. I think that's going to be really play dividends in this game. The coach for the Titans, Mike Vrabel, has obviously instilled really a winning culture with this team. The Titans, the thing about them is they can have the proclivity to win ugly. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to come down to the end. It might even be an overtime game. I think it's going to just be one play for the Titans that's going to do this. They're one of the best teams in the NFL in terms of turnover differential, but Baltimore, and it's nothing against Baltimore, has played, like one of the best teams in the league in the last month or so. Baltimore surprisingly has number 1 point differential in the AFC, even more than the Kansas City Chiefs. But again, going back to their competition, it's not been exactly stellar over the last 5 weeks. Again, only one of those wins in that 5-game winning streak to end the season that the Ravens had, only one was against the team that ultimately finished with a winning record. That was a 47-42 victory over the Cleveland Browns. That was a tight game that could have gone either way. So the thing is, but Baltimore is a very dangerous team. They obviously can match up very well against the Titans, but again, I think a lot of this is going to come down to, basically being able to home in on Lamar Jackson. The Titans have shown success in the past against him, and I think they're going to be able to get this done. The Titans just need to be wary of their secondary. Titans are one of the worst in terms of pass defense in the NFL, and if Lamar Jackson can become more of a passer, then that obviously is going to favor the Tennessee, it's going to favor the Baltimore Ravens. The Titans still have a very solid offense, which I see is better than Baltimore's. I think they're going to have more sustained drives. They also are one of the better teams in terms of their conversions, whether it could be first down, making their efficiency on second down or third down, and in terms of what they do on first, second, third, even fourth down, they are one of the more productive teams in the NFL. You have Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. He's very efficient. He's not what you would, he's not maybe not as flashy as flamboyant like a Lamar Jackson or even a Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, but he just very methodically, just very efficient and gets the job. And the Titans don't make an overabundance of mistakes, and I think they win the turnover battle, and they'll win time of possession, contain Lamar Jackson, and ultimately win this game. So one other thing I wanted to do at the end of this video, I wanted to give a shout out to Andrew Warren, who is a fellow YouTube NFL prognosticator, and he did correctly predict that the Titans would win the AFC South Division, and if I'm not mistaken, that they'd be playing Baltimore in one of the matchups in the NFL playoffs for 2020-2021 season. So I want to give a shout out to him, and mucho congrats to Andrew Warren for able to do this. And anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.